Hi guys, so today I'm going to show you guys how to find the words per minute average that your child is reading. And you want to know that because when you go to the library, you can because first off, when you do the words per minute, you find out what reading grade level your kid is on, okay? And then when you go to the library, you can actually go to the librarian and ask them for books that's on your kid's reading level. And they will show you the area in which, let's just say the child is second grade reading level. Okay, they can actually guide you to all of the books, fiction and nonfiction, that are actually chapter books and mini books that are actually designed for your kids' reading grade level. Okay, and then not only that, you can also choose books, let them choose the books, because remember, we're working on fluency, okay? We're trying to build up fluency. And so you want to let your child pick the books that they like, whether it's a magazine, whether it's a small chapter book, whatever it is. Allow them to choose something that they would enjoy reading, because that's actually going to help with their fluency. And as they are reading and they come across words that they are unfamiliar with, they're going to come and ask you what the word means or how do you pronounce it. And you take that word and you write it down and you create a list of words, okay? And you get that kid familiar with that word and you talk to them about that word and the definition of that word, okay? But also, you now choose books that, or even one book that you want them to read. Like, that's what I would always do with my daughter. She would come home with the book forms and I would let her pick 2 or 3 books that she wanted to order. But then I also chose the books that I wanted her to read. And almost always it was something that was nonfiction. So, and nonfiction is our real stories. And so I would choose something that was a true story, something that that gave life to what she was reading about, something that she can learn from. And not only that, it's going to actually challenge the fluency. And so let's say if they're reading 85 words per minute, because it is a true story, the words might become a little bit more challenging. So their reading rate is going to be a little less than that 85. It might be 75 words per minute. And you can take count of that as well by assessing them for 1 minute and to find out how many words they are actually reading on a nonfiction text versus a fiction text. And always, 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 when they are reading, and you can go through, skim through the book and ask them to find words that they're not familiar with. Create a word list and let that be their vocabulary list for them, okay? Put it in with the sight words if they are lacking in sight words. Put it in, add it in. Talk about those words and play a game with those words as well. But for this up here is a sample of what I did with my kids that I was working with before COVID. And so I'm going to zoom in and show you exactly how to find the average, okay, when you are trying to find the words per minute. And so this was 107 words. And so I gave the student that I was working with, gave her 1 minute to read all of this, okay? And what I did was words that she was unfamiliar with or she had a hard time pronouncing, I actually just underlined the words, and later I created words for her, extra words for her, along with her sight words that she was not familiar with, because this is a third grader, but she was actually reading on like a very low second grade level. And so if you look down here, this shows this is a second grade passage because of she struggled with sight words. And so if you see in here, some of the words that she actually struggled with was like rainy, driveway, bouncy, basement. And so I put those words to to the side for her to also practice and discuss with before we, would go into reading this passage. And so the key here is that you want to read the first time. That's the first read. It was 61 words per minute. Okay. And so the second time she read, I gave her a little break, let her get the wiggles out, gave her a little break, and she stopped at 61 words a minute. Again, if you notice over here, this is line 66, but she stopped here. So this is 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66. So this is 66, okay? And she stopped at 61 the first time, and then she read it again. She did it again second time. And then the third time, she stopped at 75. So she didn't quite make it to 107. And so this was me initially testing her before I began working with her. Okay. And so the second time, like I want to say 2 or 3 weeks later, as I put right here, retest 2 weeks later. So it might have been 2.5 weeks, something I can't really remember right now. But I tested her on this same passage. But in between this week and a few weeks after that, I had her to read over and through the passage. Partner read, choral read, echo read. It was just different techniques that we use to get her familiar with the passage. Not only that, in between that, I also had her to read other things that she enjoyed reading to help build up her fluency as well. And so, then we studied the sight words, we studied her vocabulary words, we played games with them. I brought in poems, for expression and a lot of things that would actually help with fluency. And so a few weeks went by and I tested her again. So this time in her first read, she had 85 words. So we did it again for 1 minute. She made it to 96. And then the third time, she made it up to 99 words, okay? And so she stopped here at the word balls, which actually left her with 2, 4, 6, 8 words left out of 107, which is good. So what you have to do is you want to add up all three of these and all three of these, and then you divide them. So 61, 61, and 75 is 197. And you want to divide it by 3. So that first time I actually tested her, she was at 65 words per minute, okay? A few weeks later, I tested her after we read poems for expression and fluency, after we read other texts to help with fluency and expression, and we worked on our sight words that we were unfamiliar with, and the vocabulary words in here that we were unfamiliar with, or maybe even some of the sight words. And we read through this as well, and then to get her familiar with the passage or whatnot. And like I said, all of this reading that we did in between testing her again, she made it to 85 plus 96 plus 99. So you add all three of those together, that's 280. You want to divide it by 3. When you divide it by 3, it puts her at a 93% average, okay? So she went from 65 words per minute average to 93 words per minute average in 2 to 3 weeks, okay? Because that's when like I said, I don't remember the date. I don't even think I have the date on here, but it's so much writing. But in 2 to 3 weeks, she actually kept put new sight words to 227. So that's probably when I tested her from when we started. But she went from reading 65 words per minute average to 93, averaging 93 words per minute, okay? So guys, this is what I'm saying, okay? This is what I told you guys in my other video. Consistency. Consistency is the key. You know? It's the key. Parents are always saying, I'm worried about the comprehension. I'm worried about the fluency. But once again, like I told you, we can't even get to comprehension until we build up fluency, because her fluency was so choppy. When the fluency is choppy, they can't comprehend what's going on. They can't comprehend what's going on, not fully, because they're worried about word recognition. So again, you know, fluency and word recognition is the skill that's going to actually help them with comprehension. It's actually the skill that bridges comprehension together, you know, with word recognition and fluency. And so when you have these passages, even in a book, if you go to the library and you get your kid a book that they like or a book that you want them to read, you go through, let's say you want them to read 4 pages. You go through the pages first. And like I said, consistency, time is key. I worked with this young lady for 5 or 6 weeks, okay? I was actually getting ready to put her on a 3rd grade passage because I felt she was ready. I felt she was ready. And the best part about it is that she wanted to learn. She wanted it. She knew she needed the help. She never gave me attitude. She never got frustrated or anything like that. Okay? She wanted to learn. And that right there is the best part in all of this. So remember, go through the passage. Ask the kid line by line, is there any word or words that they may know how to pronounce, but they don't know the meaning? Okay? Maybe they can figure out the meaning with the context clues, the words around it. Maybe they can do that. And if they can't, discuss the word, okay? But you got to get through word recognition, okay, in order to help build fluency. And then we can go into comprehension. So that is how you test the words per minute for average, to see what they're averaging at. Once you find out what they're averaging at, you can take that information and figure out what grade level they're on, go to the library and get the books that are necessary to help with their fluency and then later their comprehension. All right, guys, so I hope this video was helpful with you on fluency words per minute. Bye, guys.